All right. As always, each week I try to pick out the positive of what we've done, all right, as a defense. And I'm not going to lie and tell you that that I'm chippy or I'm happy after a loss, because each loss, to me, it feels the same. But I will say this. I always want to go back and look at the film and take the emotions out and look at, okay, what did we do as a defense that we can build on? And you look at the first half, and percentage-wise, it's probably our best defensive performance right in that first half. Now, going to the second half, not our best defensive performance, all right? But there's a lot that we can build on, right, when you look at that first half, especially the fight, the grit, the timely turnover. Like, those things are positives, right, when you look at that. And the players really understand that, they know that. But on the flip side, they also know that we have to play for a whole game. Right? We have to play 4 quarters. That's what this game is made of. So we got to get better at that.
We talked about the third down defense being a real positive.
Yeah.
Red zone, maybe not as much. What do you guys need to do, down there to get more production and touchdowns there?
Man, it's funny you say that, because that's something that we've talked about today. Even though today is usually a third down day, I try to mix in some red zone on a Thursday. And it really comes down to 2 things in my book. The first one is discipline. And I say, do your job. And more than anything, man, focus on the execution of your job. And those are the things that we have to get better at. The second one is just winning one-on-one battles. Right? This is a one-on-one game, to be honest with you. Each individual player has a one-on-one battle every doggone play. All right, and we try to focus on, man, how many times can we win that one-on-one battle? And then you do that within a team concept, and that's what makes up a good offense or good defense, is winning those battles. And that's something that we talked about. We looked at it on tape. And I'm big at showing tape, not to show people mistakes, but more or less to show how can we improve. And that's what we did today.
It's going to sound funny that 0-6, but you think that you guys have overachieved in some ways defensively? You look at some of the roster, what went on last year. I think some of us think at times that.
Well, I really don't look at it that way. I look at it more of how can we as coaches try to put the guys in positions to be successful. So overachieve, not really. I look at it as we basically underachieve, right? Because we're not exactly where we need to be, So I look at that as a team, but I also look at it defensively also. So each week we try to go out with the mindset, man, what can we do as a defense to win this game, to put us in positions to win games, or put the offense in position so they can score. And sometimes, I think we do a good job of that, and other times we don't, all right? But that's what we go out and practice every week.
Aaron, I'm just wondering, where were some of the execution breakdowns after the half against Cincinnati?
You know what? A lot of times when things are not going your way, and this is just human nature for any player. Heck, I did it when I was a player. When you try to do too much, and once you try to do too much, that's when breakdowns happen. When, man, my guy's here, but man, I'm trying to make that play over there. All right, and that's, man, guys, they want to win so bad that sometimes that instinct takes over to where, man, I have to do more. All right, when it sounds crazy, but you really don't have to do more. Just do what you're supposed to do. And when you do that, man, everything will be fine. And that's what we continue to preach. The players see it, and a lot of times they hit themselves in the head, like, man, God, I just got to do my job. And that's what we focus on. And you hear that across the league, right? But for us specifically, man, that's a major deal that we have to continue to work on.
Matthew does so many things well for the Rams, but one of the things that we saw so much here was his ability to use his eyes to kind of move defenders, particularly the deep safeties. How do you guard against that with young players? I mean, just making sure they stay disciplined. You say trust your eyes, but if your eyes are showing you something that maybe you shouldn't trust, how do you?
I think the first thing is film study and really understanding, like, what do they do, all right? And then you try to flip that. And the way you flip it is you try to manipulate the quarterback and don't let him manipulate you. All right, you saw a really good picture of that last year in New Orleans when he tried to do it to the safety, Marcus Williams, and Marcus Williams picked him off. So there's ways to combat that, but we have to learn how to do that. And a lot of good quarterbacks have that knack, and he's one of them. He's one of them. But there's ways that you can make that go against him by him trying to do all that, you know, instead of him just placing the ball where it needs to be, and by us basically reacting the way what we see on the film and being able where are guys going to be at these certain spots and go make those plays. So, man, he's a good quarterback. He's a really good quarterback, and he's doing a good job for them. And we have our work cut out for him. You know, not just him, but the skill positions that they have. I mean, they're all over the place when you look at this team. But it's exciting also. Playing against a good play caller, playing against a talented team. I mean, what more can you want, really? You get a chance to go into their building and get a chance to win a game.
You've defended against that Rams team a few different times and prepared for them. Does it look, I mean, how does McVay's offense look different with Stafford under center, if at all?
Well, there's a lot of things that they continue to do that's just a part of who he is, all right? I think the one thing that has changed is there's way more drop back pass, all right, with Stafford than it was with Goff for whatever reason, you know, and that's McVay's decision. But you see him allowing him to get in shotgun and be able to just go out there and just wing it around, you know. So, but that's the one thing to me that kind of stands out. I mean, I go back and look at my notes from the last time I played him, going to this time, and I mean, you clearly see like more drop back pass than the normal play action that you usually see from these guys.
So as opposed to the play action of the run.
You know, that hasn't gone away. You know, the play action's still there, but you just like there's way more gun drop back passing than there has been in history of this offense.
So how does that challenge your defense? I mean, deeper shots, more shots downfield?
Well, the shot's coming in regardless, even when it's play action, right? That's when you use the shot's going to happen. All right, I just think he's allowing this quarterback to sit back there, read the defense, be able to make checks and be able to go play. You know, and again, he has that ability to do that.
How much is the ability of the quarterback to stretch the field change things for calling defenses? Or its ability to throw the ball deep down the field, sidelines, all over?
Well, the first thing you have to have receivers that can stretch the field. I mean, you could have the strongest arm in the world you want to, but if you have guys that can stretch the field and that can threaten you in that situation, man, it doesn't mean anything. So you have to give a lot of credit to these players and skill positions that they have. And every receiver that they have has that ability, right? The one thing that makes this team such a threat is not only can they do that, but they can work the underneath part. And they have skilled players that can punch in and out of cuts really, really well. I mean, Kupp's one of the better ones I've seen in a long time. Even when I was playing, he's one of the better ones. So, and then Woods, he's a tough competitor. And he has that ability to stretch the field. And again, he has that ability to work underneath. And then the running backs running really, really well. I mean, I know that they had another running back that should be the starter, but this player, he's a pretty good player.
Who's the best you ever faced as a player?
Best player I've ever faced?
Yeah.
Oh, man. This might shock you, all right? And I have reasons why. But I thought Isaac Bruce was the best player I went against. Isaac Bruce. Yeah. And I went against Jerry Rice, and I went against Randy Moss, and nothing against those guys. They were really, really good. But Isaac, all run and pass plays, he made me work. Like Randy Moss, he didn't make run play. I knew it was going to be run because he wasn't doing anything. Yeah, but Isaac, man, he made you work. A lot of times that's what Kupp does for the most part with these guys. So that's why he's a tough cover.
Yeah, one of them, just what you said about Stafford, the drop back passing that they're doing.
Yeah.
So if you go back and you read your notes on facing McVay's offenses, you also then go back and read your notes on facing Stafford from the past and maybe the elements that he sort of brings to the offense.
No doubt. The one element that is an intangible of him is his toughness, all right, and his ability to, I wouldn't say scramble, but when it's time to scramble and make those plays, like he has that knack to be able to, he'll lower his shoulder and try to get that 1-2 yards, try to get in the end zone when he needs to. Other than that is what you already said, but trying to manipulate with his eyes, right, and understand how do you make that go against him, all right, so how do you, as a safety, right, because majority of the time it's the safety that he's trying to work on, or a linebacker, how do you make that go against him? And understand those little bitty things that you can do to him to make that go against him. So I try to give those to our players, and then we try to go out there and practice them, right? Because you have to practice them if you're not used to doing it. And, I mean, we try to make sure that we work on those things.
Yep, Jared Jacobs seemed to come out and graded well against the
Yeah.
Bengals. What's the next step for him as he progresses through the next couple years?
Keep grading well, and keep working. He's a young player, and we all know that, but, man, he hasn't seen nearly what he's going to see in this league, and thing is, we're happy with the player. Again, he's not perfect, right, just like all other players, but he is improving, right, and we're happy with what he's doing right now.